Welcome back to Diablo Immortal. Today I'm here with the patch notes for the incoming update. You're going to also have all the gameplay videos that were provided to me by Blizzard playing in the background so you can see all the new cosmetics that are coming, some gameplay as well, so stay tuned to all of that as we go through this video. So this update is dropping on Wednesday, the 13th of this month, and as many of you know, it's a big StarCraft crossover event, but there's a lot more things, including combat rating changes, how set items work, a lot of big items in here, and I've summarized it for all of us here so that it's a little bit more straightforward. So first of all, we have this event called Aeon of Stars. Basically, you're going to log in and receive a StarCraft-themed avatar frame, the Bane Boil 2-star legendary gem, the inspired weapon transmog, and then you can get these items through daily events, monsters, limited dungeons. Basically, this is just how you're going to be getting rewards inside of the game from doing whatever things. StarCraft themed portal, stickers, additional weapon transmogs, legendary items, set items. This is going to be going on for about 4 weeks, and additional milestone rewards include bound empowered immortal keys and regular immortal keys. Now, also, we do have a limited time boss. That's the boss that you saw on the thumbnail of this video. It's a crossover from StarCraft, and you're going to be fighting Tal'Darim Templar. Now, just so you guys know, I was never a big StarCraft guy. I never played it, well, not much at least, not on a regular basis. He's going to have psionic combat mechanics, high damage boss abilities, up to 4-player co-op. It's going to require those tickets to enter and include special event tasks and rewards, but let's be honest here. We already know the boss is going to be pretty easy to take down, but at least you can do it with friends, which will be fun, so I do think it's going to be worth doing, at least participating in, because many of us are always asking for new PvE experiences, so here's one. By the way, I like the look of these cosmetics, even though I'm not a StarCraft guy. Now we have Infested Rifts coming. This is where Elder Rifts become corrupted by Zerg enemies. I think we saw this previously where the Elder Rifts were changed. I like that Blizzard is doing things to existing gameplay modes that we use. So they did this in Survivor's Bane with the Doom collab. Now they're doing it here with the Corrupted Rifts. So now you're going to have a new boss encounter, the Feral Hydralisk. Let me actually move this out of the way so you can see the pet. There you go. Players are going to gain temporary psionic storm abilities during rifts. Essentially, all that matters here is that the Elder Rifts are changing and that they are going to have some more fun abilities in them. Either way, it's still an Elder Rift. Now, we do have a new Conqueror PvP mode coming, Battle for the Beyond, which is StarCraft themed. Again, taking something. Did Blizzard listen to me in my last video? Maybe they did. Or maybe they had the idea on their own all the time. But I really loved how they did it with Survivor's Bane and Doom. I thought it was fantastic. And now we're seeing it with the Elder Rifts, and we're also seeing it here in the Conqueror mode as well, which I think is a really good use of their resources, and it makes it fun for people that may already like Conqueror mode. New faction-based spires and combat orbs. You get the stim packs, 30% attack speed and movement speed. The Zerg equals the poison, attack, fire, poison projectiles. The Protoss shields, temporary protective barriers, only your selected faction orbs during matches, and added weekly faction leaderboards. Permanent change. Ooh, all players now have access to all 8 gear slots. Locked slots autofill with default gear. This is a huge and positive change in my opinion. I always hated it, how you could only use your 6 gear slots because it would ruin a lot of our builds. So now Conqueror is actually playable because you could use the builds that you've been working so hard to put together and use them in Conqueror. That's a win. Even after this Battle for the Beyond ends, we're still going to have that. And this is a cool looking pet cosmetic, by the way. All right, so now this gem, the Bane Boil. It's a new legendary gem effect. Damage summons 3 Banelings. Banelings explode and apply acid damage. Enemies take 35% increased damage from you, and cooldown is 6 seconds. Additional passive plus 6% damage to enemies suffering from continual damage. It's a new 2-star. I'm not so excited about it. We also have the new cosmetics set called Swarm Monarch, limited time Phantom Market cosmetic inspired by Kerrigan, the Queen of Blades. We saw all of these cosmetics popping up at the beginning of this video. They'll probably recycle back again if you want to see them again, focusing on Zerg and Swarm aesthetics. Now, I do believe that I saw the ability to do some type of enhancement. Remember we had the tempering in the past? I believe that there is a tempering ability in these. I don't think they call it tempering though, where you're able to enhance it. We actually have the image right here of it. We could take a look right now. We have the image of it in the Phantom Market right here. I don't see any options on it though. Oh, wait a second. Let me remove my camera for 1 second here. And you'll see that it does have the upgrade to empower. Oh, yep, here, refined armor, refined weapon. So it looks like we are able to refine this for some type of an additional cost. My question to you is it worth the cost of refining? We're not sure what that cost is just yet. Now, we also have the crossover familiars. We saw them popping up in the background as well. I think they look really cool. We have the Immortal familiar, Protoss-themed familiar skin, inspired by the Protoss warriors inside Warframes, and the Zergling familiar, Zerg-themed familiar skin, allows portable skills to be used without cooldown. So it actually is giving you some type of an enhancement there in this skin. Allows portable skills to be used without a cooldown. Interesting that we're getting a little bit of a buff utilizing that skin. We could assume that the Zergling familiar is probably not free if you're going to be getting a buff. Now, yes, we do have a new event. This is a rotating multi-week challenge event. Complete activities to progress along rewards track. Rotating game modes are Survivor's Bane, the 13th through 20th, the 20th through 27th, Trial of the Hordes, May 27th through June 3rd, Fractured Plane, and June 3rd through the 10th is Wild Brawl. Rewards earned through participation and event progression. Of course, this says new multi-week challenge event. I don't think that anything is new here. I think these are all just the same ones that we've done in the past. I was snookered into thinking we had a new one, but it looks like it's the same. And if you didn't notice, what you're looking at in the background looks to be that new boss fight that we mentioned earlier on inside of the video. Looks pretty cool, actually. All right, now we do have the versatile rings. These are the rings that you get from running your dungeons that you could put any different normal gem inside of. That's now going to be a permanent feature, which is actually quite nice. And I kind of saw this coming. They've done the same thing with making it easier for you to get set items and making it easier for you to get essences for other classes. All of the features that they had that are easing your way of getting gear are becoming normal. So now you're going to be able to get these types of gems, or these types of rings, I should say, on a more regular basis. At least the feature is not going away. So hopefully you've seen some success. I've definitely gotten a handful in my time playing since the feature has come out, probably 10 or so. And Battleground rewards are being increased by roughly 50 to 100%. So you're going to get more gold, more gear, higher valuable gear drop rates, one normal gem per Battleground run. That's actually nice. First 3 daily runs remained the most rewarding. Normal gem cap shared with 4-player activities. So you still have that 12 gem cap on the day. Unfortunately, they have not rose that up, but at least they're making Battlegrounds a little bit more fruitful for your time. Now we have Monster Family Commanders. What I believe this is inside of your dungeons, you're going to have these different commanders. Correct me if I'm wrong with that one. Monster packs from the same family can spawn a commander. Commanders organize enemies into formations, and players must defeat underlings before damaging the commander. This could either be happening in the open world, but I think it is focused in on dungeons themselves, and it's going to basically make your fights a little bit more difficult, encountering some more difficult enemies. Kill the spawn, then kill the boss. At the end of the day, it's not going to be difficult. Now we have an overhaul to combat rating, and this stuff is important right here. So there are systems being removed from the game. The Ancestral Tableau, removed. Reliquary upgrade system, removed. Set item upgrades no longer give combat rating. No more combat rating upgrades from your set items. That's crazy to me. I don't understand. I'm thinking that maybe combat ratings are just getting too high and newer players can't catch up. That's gotta be the reason behind these changes. Demonic remains no longer give combat rating. That's interesting to me. But there's even more. There's progression changes. Combat rating now scales automatically with Paragon progression. So does this mean that we're no longer, like, are all of our combat ratings are going to be changing? Is this balancing the player field right now? We also have players gain combat rating, seeker rating. Let's move this over here and take a good look at it. Primary stats directly from Paragon levels. So combat rating, seeker rating, primary stats directly from Paragon levels. Existing combat rating will not decrease after the update. Okay, that's a good thing at least. Heliquary materials will be refunded. Heliquary Reforge unlocked earlier. I still don't reforge anything from Heliquary, by the way. And seeker rating rewards are going to be updated with upgrade materials. Super strange how this is all coming out. I am not sure why they're doing this. What I have to do is I need to get Indez on. He and I have to break this update down. You know how we typically do. Hopefully we can have that video for you guys tomorrow. And other changes, the defense and purge are no longer provided activity points. So definitely some changes here. These right here are probably some of the biggest changes for endgame players that are going to be seen through this update. And I think, I don't know that a lot of players are going to like these changes, being that it's kind of putting us in a little bit of a box. It's not allowing players to push the upper limits to gain that extra combat rating to, well, do better in PvP, but even more, to push those leaderboards to try and be the first in the leaderboards for Heliquary things, for anything that requires a leaderboard. When you push that combat rating, you get a small advantage, but this could be taking that away. By the way, these patch notes and all new builds, maps, guides, calculators, everything you want are over on GameStrategyHQ.com. Head on over there. I link it in the description of every single one of my videos. The patch notes are all shared here if you're looking to read them yourself. Now, they're also making some things easier for newer players. So set item drop rules revision. Hell 1 can now obtain and craft all 16 set items. Lower difficulties now match higher difficulty set item drop rates, and individual set item odds remain unchanged. Now we have some quality of life things here as well. So the legendary gear UI, new battle pass style selection interface, curious of what that's going to look like, easier comparison between owned and unowned items, and added class selection dropdowns, a cosmetic backpack, improved browsing and collection management. That's actually good because when you start having a lot of cosmetics, as many of us who've been playing for nearly 4 years do, it becomes a lot to sift through to find your cosmetics. I'm curious on how that's going to look. And the ethereal treasure improvements, faster action flow after purchases, better tooltip navigation, and reactivated treasures now glow visually in the inventory. Difficulty expansion. Realm of Damnation and select story content now support Hell difficulty and Inferno difficulty, and Battleground onboarding. New Battleground tutorial quest at level 46 explains objectives, rules, and combat flow. Is Blizzard trying to make their way into getting all of their players to dive into Battlegrounds and be a part of that community? And a new Bout of Realms is landing. I'll tell you what, even as the player that I am, which is more of a casual player than some of these, whales and krakens out there, I love Bout of Realms. I think it's a ton of fun to participate in with your team. I suggest all of you do it. You get rewards even if you lose your matches, so it's a fruitful experience no matter what. The tournament schedule is registration the 27th through the 31st of this month. Then points matches go from June 1st through June 6th, and the finals are the 8th through the 14th. There are no details on this just yet, like whether there's going to be like the last one where the battlefield was more even, like legendary gems were not a part of it and all of that, or if it's going to be you go in with what you got and you do your best against the krakens that you're going to encounter. Either way, I'm looking forward to the Bout of Realms returning to Diablo Immortal. This is going to be a recurring thing. It's going to come back on a very regular basis. But let's be clear, the biggest change here is everything that you're seeing for the combat rating. These are big changes, and it's going to impact how we play the game. Now, the positive thing is that they're not taking away any of the combat rating that we've grinded for and that we've earned over the current time. But the way that we get it in the future definitely seems a bit gated. Let me know what your thoughts are on this massive change in the comment section below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Then head on over to GameStrategyHQ.com, say what's up, share your favorite build inside of there, and see how many people you can share it with on Discord. Definitely a great website. I'm a part of it. Hope you guys enjoy it, and hope you enjoyed this update.